Welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. It's Dave again. I've got another video for you guys today. The video I've got for you guys today is the trade that I took. Now what I'll do is go over my pre-market plan here quickly, post it in the Discord at 8:36 New York time. This is essentially what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a large bounce off the open here into the mid 70s on ES to possibly look for a short. But primarily I wanted to see a washout of these lows here, get really close to, if not touch this 3350 area. Let's see a long opportunity to get long. This plan changed a little bit because this area, when we drove up into the 4450s, I expected some hesitation here, but I actually got the opportunity to roll the market over in this area. And I'll show you exactly why in my order flow. Now, I just want to show you guys the trade here. This is the trade, okay? This is the 44450s, and this is 4447, and this is going to be that 3350 area. So you can see we got short, added here, took everything off into these pre-market lows. Let me pull up some charts and show you guys the whys. Okay, so we're sitting on a daily chart here on ES. Me personally, my bias is kind of to the long side, not gonna lie, going forward. We're actually trading right here, right at this 50% area, high to low, and this is telling me that we cannot close below this level. For you ICT traders, this is a daily fair value gap. Right in this area, we cannot close outside the low of this daily fair value gap, which is another reason we could possibly see some upside potential. We're coming off three big red days. I do think there's a lot of pressure on the upside. There's a lot of shorts into this trade here, which is good, but it's also back into value for longs. If we jump down to the 60-minute chart here, we can see what I was looking at a little bit more clearly. So we've got this low here from yesterday, and as we're trading in the on session here, I wanted to see a sweep below this area, but a hold, drive above, and possibly get long. The issue is the on session was so aggressive and we pushed so low so quickly. So I sent the plan out that I shared with you guys that I wanted to see a little bit lower, which was pretty close to this area right here that we were looking at before I looked to take any longs or get into any trades. Now if we jump down to 1 minute chart here, so just for reference, where we took the trade was right here at 45. And we added here at 43, and we took everything off at the lows for around 20 points or so on two contracts. I could not get full on this trade. It is what it is. I don't get full on trades very often. 80% of the time, I'm not full on a trade, which is fine. So what I saw here was we've got these very equal lows coming into the market open, right? This creates a potential sweep area, a trap area, a shake and bake, a draw on liquidity, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's all the same deal. Essentially, anyone who is short here is struggling, longs are accumulating, longs start shooting this thing up, and then shorts squeeze this, okay? Yes, shorts made this move happen. Why? Because they started covering their contracts, turning them into buys. That coupled with the aggressive longs, hammering the offers, are going to push this thing up. Now, what we were looking for was the reaction into this area and this area, 4447, 4950, or just 50 flat. So we get a reaction up in this area. Actually, in the room, I talked about getting short at 4850, which was right here, 4850. So as soon as we dump this print right here, I wanted to get short 4850. I did not do it. I did not put an order in. There were some traders in the room who put an order in, got filled. Everything worked out well. I want to see if I can show you here why I wanted to get short that 4850. Price drives up with no intentions on moving lower. We turn around, we start moving lower. We get some kind of last-ditch buying here, a last-ditch buying attempt to drive this higher. It fails this buying, and we start accepting lower with selling pressure, okay? Where do I want to sell? I want to sell at the last place that aggressive buyers hit the market, okay? If they're still long, once price pops up, they're likely going to sell, which is essentially a short. They're going to, cover their trade break even, get out of the trade, and additional shorts are going to start piling in here, right? Price has obviously started displacing and moving in the other direction. As we move back up, this is where I want to get short, and exactly to the tick, this is where the market came back to and got short. I did not get that trade. It is what it is. The trade that I got was when the market started driving lower, I noticed this. This is a very large and a very aggressive passive bid, okay? This bid came in here very quickly. He was not here through any of this. So this is like a very recent daily acting bid here. He came in and propped for what we can see just over 5,000 contracts. It could be more, okay? Depending on how the deltas work themselves out, because this is just delta base. So he sat there and absorbed over 5,000 contracts. We know that for sure. Price sort of diddled up and down above and below him before it tanked. Sellers started accepting price lower. And as they accept price lower, I had my eye on this area. I said, I'm going to sell this thing once we get back to this bid. Why? If he is this big in this position and price comes all the way back to him, if he is not accumulating a large position, he might try and cut some of his trade here, right? Or sellers in the market will come back and sell this very active area in the market. And this is exactly what happened. So we put a limit short out here at this 44.50. We were offside by 2 ticks. No big deal. And the market rolls over. As the market starts rolling over, we end up getting our ad in at 43. Let's put a line here. 43. The market rolls over, and what do we see? Those last-ditch buyers trying to continue this drive to the upside. We start getting accepted by sellers below these buyers. I want to sell into the last-ditch buy effort here. Pushes up, and we sell. All right? This is the order flow side of things. Now, if we go back into our regular charts, right? We're looking at our regular charts for the ICT, SMC type traders, which is totally fine. What do I see here? Number one, I see a 5-minute fair value gap right here, right? And this fair value gap was assaulted or abused, but only by a wick. And according to ICT, the wicks do the damage, which is fine. I just believe that wick came up there to go and test that 5,000 contract position there. But I mean, if you're playing by that model, it works just as well, right? So my eye was on this fair value gap here, but I didn't see anywhere to get in safely within this fair value gap. So I searched above it a little bit, and I found that 5,000 contract sitting there on the negative delta. So that's where I put my order, all right? And that's where we got our initial short. Now, if we drop down to the 1 minute time frame here, and we look into this guy right here. So this is 1 minute fair value gap, okay? And you could call this displacement lower, price drives lower. As we push back up into this area, what do we want to do? We want to look to try and short the 43s. Well, this print, you go like this. This print right here had a high of 42.75. But I could see in our order flow, which I showed you guys before, I wanted to sell the 43s. So I had a limit order sitting at the 43s. We came back up. It missed me by 1 tick. We drove back down. I'm not impatient. I'm not going to jump into the trade. This is where I want to get filled. The market is going to come to me, fill me, or I'm not going to get in the trade. I know this is the proper spot to short it. I do not want to short it below where it wants me to short this, okay? I wait. The market drives back up, fills my 43s, okay? And just to see, the high of this print was 43.50. So both for the initial position and the ad, we were 2 ticks offside, okay? 2 ticks offside. Short, short, and we took everything off into the lows. And this is exactly how I traded today. My bias for today was primarily to the long side. If we could have held close to this 44.47, we didn't. As we started dumping, I started opening up my bias a little bit more, right? I started opening my bias and seeing we've got these equal lows. We're pushing back up. We're holding under this area. I can get a short back down here. Now, what threw a wrench in the long plan was something very simple. If I draw a line right down at this sweep area or this draw area, you can see we swept it, not by much. And the funny thing is, even if I look at the order flow, in that area where we had the draw, right here, there's nothing really on the order flow. There's a few sellers that are hitting below this draw right here, but nothing major to tell me buy now, right? So I just stayed away. What I would have done was when price drove up, I would have bought this, right? Maybe even aggressively bought this. We just got no pullbacks, which is fine. No setup. It is what it is, okay? But the trade that I wanted to look for was absolutely this draw getting hit. This was essentially a scalp down to the lows. If this draw get hit, and it could have given us a setup in here, I would have loved to take this right back into these areas for a long trade. Would have been a beauty. We didn't get it. It is what it is. All right. With that being said, we'll wrap it up here. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed. As always, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the charts. Stay safe. Cheers.